Starborns, welcome back to Space Skyrim, Episode 8. Today we are going to discuss New Game Plus in greater detail, so there will be some major spoilers. My name is Potato, a.k.a. Lewis, and I'm with my good friend, Alice. How are you doing, Alice?
Hi! My pronouns are she, they, and for this episode, we've been through loads of details in the spoiler casts, so hopefully we should be aiming for a much simpler episode this time. So not only will we be talking about New Game Plus and going through the story of it, but also we'll be discussing about achievements with Starfield. Mm-hmm. Mind you, it's been over the week since I stopped playing Starfield, got back into Halo Infinite, and also been playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Me too, and Spider-Man, and Forza, and Vampire Survivors. There's too much to play, not enough time. So this is the completionist episode, which is where we talk about 100% completion of the game. I technically haven't done that yet, but you have, so we can discuss it from your point of view. We'll get to that later, though, when we talk about achievements. So you wanted to discuss New Game Plus first? Is that the first thing you wanted to discuss?
Yep.
That's on the. So go ahead, Alice. Tell us about your New Game Plus shenanigans. Ooh.
Well, I think both of us are on New Game Plus. I mean, I don't know if you're still on the first New Game Plus, right? Or did you just complete it and got to the second one?
No, I'm still on my first New Game Plus. I felt guilty for marrying Sarah in the first run and then leaving her, abandoning her in the first world. I felt kind of bad, to be honest, so I haven't done it in another New Game Plus since. I've been building up a relationship with Anaja, and I can't pronounce her name.
Andreja.
Andreja. I have mentioned this in previous spoiler casts that I thought what I did straight away is I got different outfits for all the companions and made them swap outfits just so it didn't feel as weird. So like I could tell, it's like, oh yeah, they're not the ones I remember from the past. Like just to default them so they look different. That was something I did. I think would be a cool thing you could add as like a little easy mod you could do. But hey, that's just my opinion. Make the world seem different.
I've been dating Andrea too in the first playthrough, but trying to get to marry her is a bit of a pain because got through everything, been doing a little bit of freestyle just to do the bounty missions, and I got a companion quest. So I did that done, and then I was like trying to like speed up time and see if I can get the marriage crest, which I found out it's actually you get married in the moon without a reception, and it's like okay,
cool.
But it didn't happen for me. But when I went into the Unity, I still got the Andrea choice thing, because when you get to the Unity, you get all those visions of what will happen to the world I'm leaving behind. And whoever companion, like you did a companion quest with, would actually appear in the Unity and tells you what will happen to the new old world or some sort. But they choose to be reborn anyway. But I've been doing the clothes equipment because you can equip on the inventory and you can force them to wear clothes or get different weapons. Mm-hmm. So I gave her a set of epic spacesuiting gear. Her casual clothes are like still, chef's kiss. But I gave her a bunch of weapons, and I eventually made her like use like lots of different legendary gear instead of a sapping EM thing. So
there's a clip on the channel where you've made her use a Gatling gun or the heavy weapon.
That's a minigun. I was going to mention that.
That was hysterical.
I just gave her a machine gun during the last mission of the main story. It's like, yep, so there we go. You can have that, and then you can shoot it. And I gave her loads of ammo because I just been buying lots of ammo for vendors, and then gave some of it to Andrea. But during the last doing a companion quest, which involves like go around meeting up with her friends from the past, and then you eventually come to confront the one who like affected her life. And this clip came in, is that you will pay for this, and normally she would just shoot him in the head, but then she took out her machine gun. I'm like, what? Wow, it's so random.
It's very funny. It was funny, yeah.
What I did cut out
for this.
Yeah. What I did cut out though is that as soon as she produced it, it's just like she held it for like a few seconds, like, are you going to do something? And then she just did a few rounds, and he's dead.
It was very funny, yeah. I was going to say something and I completely forgot that, but yeah. Android is pretty cool. Oh, so I was going to say, so are you on New Game Plus 1 or 2? Like, have you done this again? Like, I've only done one loop.
I've gotten over to the second New Game Plus, and I think I was going to skip the quest, but I think I've just come to the point where, you know what? I think after I've done a bunch of things, I think I would rather like save all that juice left for the next DLC, and I thought I'm going to take a break from it, and now I'm just starting to enjoy life again. So,
life outside of Starfield, is that a thing? I get it. I'm the same way. I love this game so much, but I'm kind of glad that I've kind of wrapped it up for now, and I'm going to go back to it when the DLC's out. I think maybe do some achievement hunting later if I get a bit bored and I fancy going back. But yeah, I really like this game a lot. I was going to say the only different. I was saying about using different companions this run. I decided to use the ship you get from beating the Freestar Collective. I've been using a different ship for this run as well.
Ego, is it?
Yeah, that was really fun. That's a really cool ship. I think it's a star something.
Star Eagle. Yeah.
Very cool game. I love this game a lot. I highly recommend it to anyone. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you've probably beaten it because this is like spoiler cast number 4. So yeah, we got multiple spoiler casts. We got the one where we just talk about the main story. We got the one where we talk about Ryujin and Freestar, and we got the other one where we talk about UC and Crimson Fleet. No, have I done that wrong? I think I've done that wrong. Sorry.
Well, I think we should be focusing on what we got there because, bear in mind, even though Starfield has become like a huge seller and has given loads of Game Pass subscriptions for people to play the game with, I would imagine people will be getting, say, an Xbox Series X or S with Starfield for Christmas. So I'm sure this might be another peak for people to like check out the game again.
Well, if it's anything like Skyrim, we might have people playing this in 2033, looking back at watching it. Could you imagine that? Man, I'm going to be like in my mid-40s.
10 years that's 10 years to go. But bear in mind, that's, as I was been saying on the previous podcasts, it could get better in 5 years' time, and that's probably when it has enough patches. It's got unofficial patches as well as the mods to take this game further. I mean, you saw with Cyberpunk 2077, that got better after a few years. So I hope it will be the same for Starfield.
Well, Bethesda have already said they're going to dedicate another 5 years of development to this game. So that's a good sign. So, yeah, I mean, we're getting the Fallout 4 remaster coming out later this year. Oh, not remaster, like a next-gen upgrade. We know the DLC coming for this, so they're going to support it for a while. Like, as I said, if Fallout 4 and Skyrim are anything to go by, we know this is going to get supported for a long time. So, I don't even know if we're ever going to get a Starfield 2. I think this might be literally supported forever.
You did mention Fallout 4. Are you sure you're not confusing it with Fallout 76?
No, so they're doing the Fallout 76. There is going to be upgrades for that when the TV show falls. But then they announced it last week during the bomb fall day, like the day the bombs fall, but they announced the new TV show date that's coming out next year, and they also announced that the next-gen upgrade to Fallout 4, which is going to be on Xbox Series X, PS5, and PC, is coming later this year. So November, most people are thinking, like late November. So it's coming out like next month, probably. So if you've had your fill of Starfield and fancy another Bethesda RPG and you've not played Fallout 4, you'll be the optimum time to play it next month. They said this year, so it's either November or December, so it's soon. So very excited.
Well, I'm trying to find.
And then obviously there's
I'm just trying to find out about this upgrade there, and
oh, you've not seen this? Yeah, it was on Twitter and all that. And then also, obviously, there's the rumored Fallout 3 remaster and the rumored Oblivion remaster as well, which has been leaked. So if you're a Bethesda fan and you love this game, you've got lots of cool stuff to play once you finish with Starfield. But yeah,
well, bear in mind this has got rumored about last year ago, and the most I heard is that they're remastering Fallout 3 and Oblivion, and that's as far as I know. But I would say I would probably prefer to play Fallout New Vegas if I was to go after another Bethesda game.
that's fair.
But anyway, I think we're going off topic here because...
Off topic a little bit, yeah. We got on a little bit off topic, yeah. So New Game Plus, we love... I think it's a really cool feature. Have you had any funny intros? Because obviously, if you've been online, you can see... You would have.
I know what you mean, and I haven't encountered any of these. I was hoping for the alternative start when I was so hoping to come in and meet myself again, but it's just the same common start. First time got a common start where I just meet up with the constellation and myself got lost in space, and that happened twice because one, I got through the Unity with the first New Game Plus, but when I did it again after I went through the first New Game Plus to get all the skill magazines, which is something I forgot. I came back and I had a common stuff. So, unfortunately, getting alternative stuff, I think it depends on your luck, but it's not that common, I'm afraid. So I didn't get any of these.
I've heard it usually happens about the third or fourth New Game Plus. It's a nice little thing to spice up the game a little bit, make it interesting. I wish they did more than that though, but then I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit greedy.
I think it's just more of a roll of the dice anyway. But as you said that, I was thinking of doing the second playthrough for a second New Game Plus just to skip the main story and then focus on the artifacts. But then I think every time I should be spending time to get skill magazines. Hopefully they get enough credits to buy new shit, but I think usually those ones are about 1 to 3 hours of gameplay. But what really bothers me that every playthrough you go through, the temple powers, right? Where there's 24 of them. I found out one of them requires going through the Barrett and you have to go through his quest in order to get a duplicate power.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I didn't get that in the last playthrough. And for the first playthrough, it's just grab as many powers as I can. And I was I don't want to go through all of it. Then when I completed the last battle, it's just I had to go through the one in... I think there was a giant leap one, and I thought I had to do this straight away, and then went to the Unity. But the second playthrough, I had to go through and grab all the powers again, and this is one of the probably the most mundane thing to do, and I hate it because you have to go to Falimir in order to get a power crest every time. You don't get them when you go through star maps. One of them might pop up randomly, but it just seems it goes into this loop where you meet up with Falimir, get the location to power up, go in, find the temple, grab it, then you just repeat the loop where you just meet up with Falimir, get the power, and it just loops for 12 more times, and then you hit the roof.
It's not that that's the thing, it's not that interesting, it's quite repetitive. It's kind of grindy if you're just doing it to get all the upgrades and max up the upgrade, it could be a grind. That's what I'm just I'm kind of done grinding on this game. I'm just going to play it my own pace. You know what I mean? But I respect people who have the patience to do it. I just don't have the patience to do it anymore.
Yeah, because I think it would have been better when you get you discover locations as you go through, but then you have to like rely on this person in order to get the powers. And I just feel they just kind of made this like fairly useless feature like worse. And also I found like there's a few powers that are not that are only useful. Like you get the personal atmosphere, which replenishes your oxygen.
That's fun.
That helped me so much doing my first New Game Plus. And there's also a void thing that makes you invisible. That would have saved me the hassle with the stealth playthroughs. But
oh yeah, for sure.
But then there's a few others that, if anyone knows, there's a few things they find interesting, let us know in the comments below. But I think the rest of it is just like kind of a bit more gimmicky than so yeah.
I mean, I don't really use the powers at all. That's the thing. I don't even barely use them. I almost forget that I got them most of the time. I use basically the one I use the most is like the one that makes you skip forward, like shoot forwards, like a grav jump or whatever it's called. Because it's literally just because I'm trying to cross a planet at fast speed. I'm just doing vroom, 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 like skipping forward like a couple of and then fly in for a minute until it recharges, then do that again just to get across the map quicker.
I think this is a power that if you got it like 10 times during your playthroughs, you can have a stupendously overpowered thing. And I hope that this is the case with me with it. But because I've been through the first game, it's just like I think I got like 10 powers, and those are the ones that are going to get to 10, whereas the rest will be like level 9. But you still have to go through, activate all the temples, and you have to do this again for the New Game Plus. And it's just something like you have to put your podcast on, listen to it as you go through this repetitive thing. But to be honest, I just feel they kind of like saps the fun out of it, like a wet blanket of some sort. Also,
I agree.
According to Angry Joe, when he reviewed Starfield and talked about this, he just felt like this is just as bad as Superman 64. And I agree with him, because sometimes when you get these little orbs that you have to fly through and activate them, sometimes you don't interact with them as collisions don't actually register. And I thought, this is just a bit of a pain in the ass. It's just like trying to fetch these out.
Sorry, inside the temple when you're collecting the powers, when you're flying around, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, that is so annoying. I hate that. I do hate that. There's a mod online that you can actually make that simpler, which is like, yes, please. Can I have that mod, please? On Xbox, bring it over. That is the most annoying. That is one of the most annoying things, is flying in between that and get all the points. But as you were saying, it's like, I know it's a grind, and I rarely use the powers, so I'm settling on World 2, like playthrough 2, that's my home now. I'm not bothering, because the ships don't really improve that much when you do a New Game Plus. Your armor improves a little bit, but not much. I don't think it's worth doing another New Game Plus. I've done it once just to get the ending and all that and start over, but I'm not going to do it again, I don't think. Until maybe when the DLC comes out, maybe I'll do a New Game Plus for that. Like, it'd be nice to have a fresh start for a new, like, for the DLC, if the DLC is decent.
Well, I think many people would prefer to just like skip the main story every time and spend a few hours to speed through it just to get the best Starborn suit in the game. But mind you, the ship stops upgrading after the 6th one, and suit stops upgrading after the 10th one. So there's definitely pretty much a limit to how much you upgrade your Starborn stuff.
And as I said, the Starborn ship, it doesn't seem to upgrade enough. Like, I looked at the levels it upgrades by, and it's barely anything. It's not worth doing a whole playthrough just to get the slightly upgraded ship.
Also,
I really don't, but I don't think so.
It's a Class A ship and doesn't have a lot of power, and it doesn't have a lot of cargo space, which therefore you still feel like you need to get a new ship. It's something that is C-Class as well. But nevertheless, I find shipbuilding and getting C-Class ships to be one of the most fun things ever, and it's also very rewarding, which kind of makes you feel like Starborn ships are just pretty much there just to give you a bit of a boost, but you still have a Frontier anyway, so you don't have to be stuck with a Starborn ship.
Exactly. The Frontier is always a decent ship to go to.
You only get as far as 12 powers until you finish the final battle, and that's what I found out. Like, if you're able to get 12 powers, you won't get any more, but when you complete the Revelation story, which is the last battle one, do not do the one giant leap. You just need to keep talking to Falamir to get temples. You only do one at a time, but you had to go through this like 12 more times to get all the powers. So, so therefore there's still stuff to do once you finish the final battle, but it just kind of still kind of feels weird that you have to wait until you beat the whole story and then you had to get the rest of the powers. And I think this is weird. This is still like awkward, really. It just kind of suggests there's a bit of a rigid line of progression to do with constellation powers and whatnot. The other things I did is, as I felt I'm about to finish the main story, I went over, like, I did some like factions with it and got them out of the way for the achievements. But I did a animal outpost, which I thought they would give me some XP. And I feel this is enough to like reach level 100 of this, where you get a few perks. That includes animal thing, and then you just set up an outpost, and all you need is like grab some materials, set up a bed and a weapons bench, and you have an animal husbandry house. Because I think it involves going to Pyrrhus, but once you set it up, there's video tutorials online if you want to check it out. But once you set
I might do that at some point.
Yeah. Definitely. So as long as you have the coachman with the horned nest upgrade, you can just go in, blow up all the animals and the generator, interact the door to repair it, and then you just keep doing that. And this will give you like fast XP on both PC and Xbox.
Ooh. It's a little bit off topic, but I was just going to say it's funny that I realised that at this moment in time, I'm playing Starfield, Spider-Man 2, and Mario, and all three of these games I want 100% to get every achievement and every... Like, I want 100% all three of them, and I don't really ever bother doing that, so it's quite funny that I've been trying to complete 3 games at once. And it's like, it's overwhelming. Because I got all the platinums on every Spider-Man game. I'm really close to getting all the achievements on Starfield, and I always 100% every Mario game I ever play as well, so... It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort to put into it.
So what I did in the end is just like I did outposts, and I found the Paragon conductors are faster. So I did that, transferred my saves to PC, got myself all the way to 330, and got about the Xbox to finish up the main story and the temples, and just pretty much done. But I think it's starting to get a bit glitchy there. So I feel like I want to go through the New Game Plus and freshen things out. But the only difference is I got all the powers, some of which are level 2, and I got level 330. So, but I think that's pretty much it.
I was going to also say as well, I thought it was interesting, because I think we mentioned this in the previous New Game Plus talk, like the new spoiler cast, is that you were talking about how the game was really buggy for you the first playthrough, but you had lots of different outposts and stuff, and it ended up slowing down your game. But you said in New Game Plus, it kind of fixed that issue. I mean, is that still a thing? Is that correct? Like, just
it's gone better, really. I think I became more efficient with the outposts. I took advantage of power switches. Like, it's kind of a bit awkward, really, because there's a thing that if you highlight a power thing or any item in the game, there's an option where you can wire stuff up, which is something that doesn't tell you straight away in the game. But if you wire them up, do the daisy chain of all the power generators, so it adds as one, then you feed it into a powered switch, so that activates a switch, and then you wire the switch over to, say, the extractors, for instance. So if you finish with it for a while, you can just put down the switch and it deactivates everything. The only thing is, like, you have to attach all the power generators you need for the extractors, put it into the power switch, and then you connect all the extractors with it. You can daisy chain them, and that's fine. But I think it's a bit cluttered way of dealing with it, but you still like get to control how you extract the resources and not like slow the game down. But I think it's probably down to do like how many cargo links you have in the game, how many storage boxes you have, which can impact the performance of the game. And I think for this time, it got a little bit better with it, which is quite good. But I still encountered like a bunch of glitches. And I think most of it, like, it takes longer to save if you explore the galaxy more, which kind of makes me question about the game's efficiency. And where it kind of punishes you if you do a lot of sandboxing, exploration, or even building outposts. And that's the trouble.
True. I mean, obviously not something they did intentionally, but yeah, it does punish you, I guess. It's just there's something they need to figure out, like how to efficiently do that. Because obviously, like every time you land on a planet, they procedurally generate that planet, right? But then they save that procedural generation for when you return. So obviously, if you access hundreds of planets, you've got massive areas that have all been like mapped out and they've all been saved to your hard drive. So, and then obviously, if you make an outpost and you make it super complicated, so yeah, I get it. I just wish that they don't really know how they can work around it because they've made a very complicated game.
Yes, I agree.
They've kind of made it difficult for themselves, unfortunately. But when we get the Xbox Series Z or the Xbox 5 or whatever the next one's going to be, when we got a more powerful system, I think that will be an issue going forward. It's just a technical limitation of our current technology, I think, more than anything.
We'll see. I think the best we get is just a 60 FPS mod, just like what they did for Fallout 4 and Skyrim.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what I was thinking. Like, we've got the upgrades of Skyrim and Fallout 4. Is I just imagine that for the next generation for when we get an upgrade for Starfield. So I'm hoping that'll fix all the issues. But, you know, I haven't had any major bugs in the game, not any, apart from the one story breaking bug, which I mentioned before during the what's it called? Freestar Collective spoiler cast, where the Red Mall crashed wouldn't work for me. But apart from that, not had any major bugs myself. So I think it is a pretty good experience.
I haven't had a lot of like serious glitches there. And I think it's much better performing and don't have anything worse compared to the main playthrough I did. But I did encounter a few crashes and freezes there. And I think there was some like awkward glitches, like things like shaking out and getting stuck into places, which is a bit silly, but who knows?
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think the thing that
I think
I was just
I think we need to like get a crack on because you want to get to the achievements. So I need to get through this last part of the New Game Plus. So for this one, both me and you decided to repeat the main story, which you can otherwise skip through the main story just to collect the artifacts. So basically,
I skipped it.
Oh, right. Because I repeated the story and I think it just allows for more fun. So basically, when you get through the game and if you completed these quests before, it's not exclusive to the main story. You get those things called the Starborn dialogue options. And I think it's mainly there where you can like just either unlock some special dialogue or you skip persuasion mini games. And I think that's what is the case there. I was like, oh, interesting. So you don't have to do persuasion. And if you've been through it before, you can just use the dialogue to skip it. And I think it just leads to some like really hilarious stuff. I did have quite a chuckle from after doing these. Like when I was going through all the money can buy, there was guys trying to sell the artifact for double the price. And like, okay. But there's a dialogue that if you choose a Starbond dialogue, it'll say it's like, well, actually, the people are looking out for you and may grab you out and punish you for it. Like, oh, well, what the hell? Okay, just take this and buy this for the normal price. And it's like quite hilarious. Then
I do like the Starborn dialogue. I have, even though I skipped the main story, some faction stories you do have like Starborn dialogue you can use, which is really cool.
Well,
I have had that myself.
Well, I did experience a few on certain missions. Like I did the thing where I rescued the crew that like sped from Earth like a few years ago, but unfortunately, it didn't like skip the quest and get a free graph drives. So most of the time, it's just going through the mission with different facets of it, and the Starborn dialogues usually like speed things up just a smidgen bit. But the biggest difference is that because I got like perks in Starship Engineering, it made it the part where you have to follow the instructions to restore the engine, and the perk actually highlights those options so you can like activate them without having to refer to the log, which is quite good. But Starborn dialogues don't actually make it faster and easier that much.
No.
But one of the most annoying things with the 3-star rangers, you do have Starborn dialogues, which sometimes it skips persuasion minigames, but you basically, most of the time, you go through the same story. Like, one hope is just turns out to be a culprit of this thing. So I just went over to him and so he's like, oh, just go through, nod heads, and look up about the ship. Not even an option to say, well, it turns out you've been sending ships to get some minerals, and usually it ends the story, but it doesn't give you that option. It doesn't allow you to skip the entire quest line, which I think that would be really huge. I like it.
That'd be funny. Yeah, they should do that. I do like the option of like just skipping dialogue because you already know what's happening. It's like, yeah, I'm a time traveler, basically. It's quite funny. Yeah. Should we talk about the achievements?
Well, I was going to go into one point where,
okay, sorry.
if you complete further into the unknown, eventually you get over to the lodge. There's a bunch of people who are saying about, well, we need to like send people out into the eye to repair this stuff just to improve the antenna. But there's an option. But then I realized there's an option. Starborn dialogue option is where if you're going to send them out, Starborn will attack and like stay in the lodge, and then now gives you an opportunity to get all the artifacts, save all the companions, and that's great. That's what I did. Mm. So I just went to grab all the artifacts, went over to the ship, and then Hunter just suddenly appears and like, wait a minute, he teleported in my ship. It's like, you really have figured it out, and you got all the artifacts. But at the same time, I blew up that ship, so I got that artifact from there, and that's the one with it's got catching Potatochief in it. I'm like, yeah, that's totally fine. Don't need to go through that again, because I really hate that mission where you just like go into the ship, try to sneak in to get the artifact, but no matter how hard you try, you're going to end up like a 500 bounty every time. So to collect all the artifacts to save the companions, only to have a ship exploded and not have to do that mission, that's a good payoff for it.
That's like a bonus. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think I said this in the previous New Game Plus as well, the spoiler cast, is that the main reason I did New Game Plus is because I was sad that Samco died in my first run. So I'm glad there's a way of saving everyone and not letting anyone die. I didn't want to have anyone dying on me. So that's why I have New Game Plus, because I want to have my full crew, basically.
Well,
that was the whole reason was for Sam to return.
Well, I read Samco in the first playthrough and then got him alive. That's fine, but Barrett died. But in the first New Game Plus, just trying to be friendly to Barrett, but just have him on the ship. But Samco is just pretty much sitting there as like a ex-boyfriend, and I was like, yeah.
It's a bit awkward.
I know. But anyway, speaking of which, you can also like skip ahead for the Starborn chat. Just once all you had to do is like when you begin the mission where you find out who that person is, you could just say, well, I know where to find that planet. So you just like head over there. So you skip all those mystery detection and stuff like that and get straight to the Starborn ship. Also, you can also skip the moon base, so you can go straight to the NASA mission. And yeah, it's just fine. But I think I had a lot of hilarious moments in like the main story, and certain missions, but I think the faction missions don't have a huge effect from the New Game Plus, and you don't get to skip a lot of the missions there. So,
Yeah.
but I think that if you get to repeat the main story in New Game Plus, I think it just makes the experience more fun. But I think it's just pretty much like just one-off, really. So you don't get a lot of differences there, but you get just like a different perspective as a Starborn player.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
I skipped it this time, but if I do another New Game Plus, I might play through the story again. Like if they announce, like as I said a couple of times already, if they announce the DLC's coming out like March next year or something, I might play in February, play through the story again, and just get like reacclimatized to the game before the DLC drops. I think that might be something worth doing for sure. Yeah. But I think that's really cool. I'm not trying to play it through again the whole story. I just skipped the story the second time, but fascinating. That's interesting. Really think that's really cool.
Let's go over to the achievements now, and we get to discuss about Starfield achievements. So,
yay!
I think the one who will be contributing to it the most is me, who happened to get a 1,000 gamer score on Starfield.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
You've 100% in the game. 1,000 gamer score. I'm just looking at. There's 50 achievements. You've got all 50. I have 700 gamer score with 40 achievements. I'm missing 10 achievements, and they all are the more grindy achievements. Should I just list off the ones I'm missing so you know what I can just tell you about them?
Shoot.
So shipping my migrant. I need to have 5 connected outposts with cargo links. I need the stars, my destination. I need to visit all star systems. Boots on the ground, land on 100 planets. Life begets life, gather 500 organic resources. Rock collection, gather 500 igneous resources. Soldier of Fortune, mod 50 weapons. Fleet commander collects 10 ships. Another bug hunt, eliminate 300 creatures. Space opera, reach level 50. And reach for the stars, reach level 100. Now, I wanted to ask you, which one of these achievements do you think is the rarest and the least amount of people have completed without looking at it?
I got one better. What's the rarest achievement that people don't seem to get? I'm just going to look this up on the Xbox thing. I thought it would be
right now. I know already. That's what I was going to ask you. So, do you have any guesses what you think the hardest achievement in this game is?
I was kind of thinking it would be visiting all star systems because
you would think, but it's not. You would think that, but it's not. Actually, surprisingly.
Well, I can explain that. To visit all the star systems, you have to make sure that any systems you visit will just have a bloom there, which means you get to visit them all. But it's not very obvious, and you have to have a keen eye to know, like, not only to see which star systems you visit, but you also visit all the systems that are very close to each other, which kind of brings this total up to about 128 systems for you to visit.
It's a lot of systems.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's 1.7% of players have got that achievement. There's 2 achievements rarer than that, or harder to. 3 achievements that have less people that have collected them.
Okay.
Should I tell you?
Yeah,
Should
go
I tell
ahead.
you what the most rare achievement in Starfield is? Life begets life. Gather 500 organic resources. Only 0.2% of players have got this achievement. It's mainly because it's kind of bugged, because you only get 1 organic resource per plant, if I remember correctly. It's harder to get organic resources.
As it stands, the correct description for it in the moment is basically interact with 500 plants. That's basically what it is. Because organic resources, you can get them from both animals and plants, but the only thing that counts is when you interact with the plant to get the resources. So any multiples from any plant only counts as 1. So you have to go through to say like Sparta 4, wherever that is, go around, interact all the plants, and that's what I've been doing for like 30 minutes to an hour, where I had to interact with 500 plants. They don't have to be unique.
Oh my god.
But it's just so stupidly long. And it just makes that like gathering the minerals thing like quick in comparison. But it depends if you go to the planet that has that many minerals. Oh my god.
I'm really shocked that I have, like, I'm really shocked. I've completed this game, done all the side quests and all that, and I've still got all these achievements to do. I can't believe that I haven't managed to get 500 resources yet. The 10 ships one, I'm like, between my 2 playthroughs, I definitely have got more than 10 ships, but it's the fact that I have to split between 2 playthroughs and they haven't. I thought they would just count the 10 as the collective. I think I got 7 in my current run, so I need to buy another 3 ships or steal another 3 ships, but that one I'm like annoyed I haven't got. And modded weapons, I need to do that as well. That should be easy.
And I'm
close to level 50, so that's also an achievement I can do.
I must go through the 2 achievements there because those ones are a bit pesky to go through. 50 mods for weapons? I think it's one of the first achievements I did because I cranked out the weapon workbench perks. You just like get a bunch of weapons, bunch of resources, mod them, and that's cool. But you have more options if you level up the perk. I like it, and it gives me more like mods for weapons to make them better. But when it comes to the ship inventory one, you have to make sure you get 10 ships registered in your inventory so you can like max it out. Because I did sold 1 ship, but it kind of like removes it from the turtle. Like you just think as if you only need to like own over 10 ships, but I don't know how exactly it works, whether the frontier counts or not. But you just have to like make sure you have 10 ships in your inventory just to make sure you can like get the achievement.
I know, I'm surprised I haven't got that achievement yet. I've been trying to get that achievement for a while, so I should be able to get that within the next few days. I've got loads of money. I could probably just buy 2 ships or 3 ships if I really needed to.
What you need to do is get a ship, put a bunch of suppressors on it just to fill up a weapon thing. It takes a while to do, but the suppressors are more effective at stopping engines than normal weapons would. Like, you got a targeting computer, you can like use suppressors to disable them. You can also like try to steal ships, but then I don't know which is quickest, whether you do this ship stealing on a planet or you just try to steal a ship in space using suppressors. So because the EM weapons can actually disable ships, so you can have an easier time to board them, and then you can just pop into the kill everyone, get on the pilot's seat, and then just register the home ship. Then you get back to your ship and register as your home ship, and then that's it. So I did try this method there, and I can confirm it works without having to fly out, get to the Wolf to send contraband, and even get to New Atlantis to change ships.
I've stolen ships both ways, and I still haven't managed to get this achievement yet. I need to get to 10. I think I sold a ship as well, and then I think on my first playthrough I had 7 ships, and my current playthrough I got 7 ships, and they don't add them together, which is annoying. I wish they did. So I've got to still get another 3 ships to get this achievement. Yeah, I'll get it eventually. That's probably the next one on my list to get, to be honest. And then I got to figure out how to do the mods, 50 weapons. Like you said, that's easy to do. I'll just follow a guide, I'm sure. It should be pretty easy to do.
It's even better if you somehow raise a lot of levels, because you get enough skill points to get all the weapon workbench perk as well as special projects, because you need it for the last few mods. But yeah, as for the 10 ships thing, yeah, you do. I think it confirms that you need to have all 10 ships in inventory at once, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, which I will do at some point. I want to go back to Starfield definitely and get all these achievements. Currently preoccupied with Mario and Spider-Man, but I will go back to it at some point. Get these achievements, mop them up.
Also, it's interesting that the level 100 and level 50 achievements, not a lot of people have actually got them. Like you said, as you said, you are like level 44 or some sort.
Think so. I'm the high 40s anyway. I can't remember exactly what achievement, what level I am, but I think it's about 44. I think, yeah. So I'm not far off the 50. Yeah, but 100, I go, oh god, that's going to take me forever unless I do what you said. Like, I'll follow a guide online and do the farming thing just to get to level 100. And get
You
the
should.
achievement. Yeah, probably will.
Well, if I've been comparing the achievements, that about 20% of people who they have reached over level 25 in Starfield, level 50, only 5%. And the easiest way to get to level 50 and beyond is by doing resource farming on Outposts, which also gives you achievement for extracting modules from the ground. So you can like set up extractors to collect, say, copper and nickel from the ground. You can also do this with aluminium and iron, but this will give you enough of the resources to get for the achievements as well. And that's how I got them as I was trying to build XP farms. You won't get this when you do animal farm method, but this one is much quicker and also more efficient.
What would you say is the best achievement or your favourite achievement then out of the lot? And which would you say is the most annoying achievement to get?
Oh gosh, this is such a long time because I've completed Starfield, grabbed the achievements, and to be honest, most I remember is just basically quest line. It was basically quest lines that take up the entire list. And this is the case for games starting from Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, where you get more achievements for completing quest lines. So it's not that cool. But then I think there's some like really good ones where I don't know, because I think there's some of them are like fun to do, and some of them are like really a bit of a pain in the butt. So I think there were some like good ones and bad ones. And I know I was going through the list and trying to remember what I did.
Yeah, I think the collected plants is going to be the most annoying one, in my opinion. That sounds the most annoying. At least when you're traveling to different planets and solar systems, at least that's kind of interesting, whereas the plant one just seems kind of a grind.
Well, actually, I think the ones where you collect 10 ships, that's cool. Also, the challenging ones where you had to get maximum affinity with a companion, as well as like trying to like do the star systems. I think these are quite good, but I think the worst ones are like you have to visit all star systems, and this kind of like makes a bloat out of your save. Also, you had to land on 100 planets where you collect all the rocks and interact with 500 plants. And those ones really do suck. I think it just kind of allows for more grinding, and somehow it also like gives so much information for saves that makes them much longer. Like when I backed the saves up on my PC, the Starfield ones, the one folder with all of them is like worth about 1 gigabyte. I mean, oh my god.
Christ almighty, Jesus. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I was going to ask you as well, because you're one of the few people I know who have got 100% completion on Skyrim on Xbox as well. How does this achievement list compare to that achievement list? Do you like prefer it, or did you find Skyrim easier or more enjoyable? Like how would you compare the two?
I can say that both of them are better than Oblivion's. But Oblivions are nothing more than like quest lines. So I'm just trying to look up on Skyrim achievements. So let's see. Because I think there's some like really a pain in the ass ones there where you get thief, hard work. There's some really fun ones like chopping wood and mine ore and bits. And you can also like do those kind of things. Also, you do get those achievements for finding 13 standing stones, which gives you like different properties. Also got things like you get married, buy a house, or you had to like escape from jail. And I thought, wow, that's cool. And then you get a bounty of 1,000 gold in all 9 holds. So I think there was a lot of really fun ones. So it kind of makes it look as if Skyrim is like much nicer. Also absorbing dragon souls and learning all 3 words of the shouts. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I remember Oblivion Walker to be an absolute pain, because sometimes in the original vanilla release of Skyrim, not everyone's got the achievement once they get all the 15 Daedric artifacts. But I think a lot of these issues may have seemed to be fixed in, say, the anniversary edition of Skyrim, which is what I played on the Xbox Series X, even though there's an Xbox One game. But I think Starfield is like not that interesting in comparison. So I feel that Skyrim might have a bit upper hand there. But that's coming from someone who hasn't completed any of this Fallout video game series. But I would imagine the New Vegas could be better. But I don't know. Just see how anyone would say about that.
Also, I was just thinking, it just made me think, because you're talking about grinding in Starfield. I remember when I first got Skyrim on Steam, I was doing the dagger thing where you just keep making loads and loads of daggers to level up quickly and to get you I forgot what it was called now. Just literally farming daggers. It's like the same kind of thing. So it's funny that that's like been a thing in all Bethesda games, that there's a way of grinding to get into easy levels and easy stuff.
I know what you mean. You buy loads of iron ignots, build loads of daggers, and raises a level up, and then you can enchant them too, which you can get more points for leveling up. Unfortunately, you get less points for crafting loads of iron daggers in the updated versions of Skyrim, even in the anniversary edition, so it just kind of like sucks. Well, actually, it's a special edition I was playing, not anniversary edition, because anniversary edition came after I 100%ed Skyrim on the Xbox. But yeah, they kind of nerfed it. What they didn't nerf is that you can like craft items and enchant them to have magical properties, so you can get much better items, and then you just enchant them again to get even higher bonuses, so that way you can get overpowered enchantments on your armor, and that way you can blast through missions. And that's really a cool exploit you can get in Skyrim.
Nice. I think we should probably start wrapping up the podcast now as well, because we got.
Well, that's all right. I think it's already going to be double the time, and we had so much to talk through. But I think, to be honest, that Starfield, while there's many achievements that are like really fun, and I enjoy some of them, there's a lot of grindy ones that can risk like overloading your saves. So, but then again. If there's one tip I can share with you, is that never be afraid to do the XP farm. Bethesda may patch those out, but it kind of kills off the fun for any of these. I would recommend you have a session where you get to visit all the star systems, but at the same time, on every star system you visit, land on the planet, collect as many resources as you can, or interact with the plants, and do this for every star system, so you can kill many birds with one stone. That's what I can give.
Also, I was going to say, if you're planning on making like really complicated farms and stuff, maybe do that and then do New Game Plus, because as you said, it seemed to save you, like make the game easier to load and stuff after you like kind of got rid of everything after you did New Game Plus. So like do like farm, get to the max level, and then do New Game Plus and basically get rid of the farms. So it just saves your save file. I think that's a good recommendation.
Oh yeah,
that seemed to help you. But yeah, let us know in the comments below if you have 1,000 gamer score on Starfield. Are you enjoying the game? Are you going to take your time? Are you Team Alice or Team Lewis? Are you must get 1,000 gamer score right away, or are you going to take your time with it? Because I'm going to basically try and take my time with it. I will get 1,000 gamer score, but maybe like by 2024, I'm going to try and pace myself. But what do you guys think? I'd love to know how you guys plan to complete this game. If you even going to bother completing the game, I would love to know. Let us know in the comments below. Really appreciate your time. That's episode 8.
I'm not intending to get all the achievements in the first place, because I did spend loads of hours sandboxing, doing a bunch of quests before I do the actual quest lines, and then I start to go through a lot of things to take the most efficient approach to it. So not exactly from what you're describing.
No, I know. I'm just saying, it's like, I just would love to know if people are planning to 100% this game, or like if anyone like they're just going to take their time with it. I just love to know what people are doing with their game. Fascinating. So this is our fourth spoiler cast we've done. We're gonna do one more episode probably next week, another one, and then probably wrap it up probably. But yeah, but let us know in the comments below what you guys think. We really appreciate every single one of you, and thank you for watching. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
That's all.
Well, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, Starboards.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.